Wonderful, wonderful, guys. It's Monday. Here's my time slot. Welcome to the show. I'm Aries Bookman, your host, psycho-spiritual consultant, left empath occultist, and metaphysical enthusiast. Let's see who I got in here. Ryan Morrow, 7. Inside the EJX, y'all got in here early. Good to see you in the show. Welcome, guys. And you know I'm talking about you. Bro, I seen a nigga on Instagram try to do my shit, bro. Cause look, don't nobody say here something like, look, I'm talking about you. Don't nobody do that. Don't nobody else do that. Fuck you, man. I know. And there's the whole saying that imitation. Hold on, because niggas ain't got the whole quote right. Is this form of. Hold on. See, I gotta say the quote now. Here it is. Watch. Fuck you, then, bro. Fuck you. Like I said, bro, I see niggas stay trying to do my shit too. Cause man, can't do the taco meat right. Can't do the jokes right. Coming at me on no little passive aggressive sly shit, bro. Fuck you, mean. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. See, that's the part people usually get, you know? It helps you justify your bullshit, right? Here's the whole quote, real quick. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. Fuck out of here. No, I'm talking about you, bro. Man, this is your boy in there, but I can't do it. I'm gonna have to, though. I'm sorry. I'm a dick. I'm not gonna stop being a dick. I can't help it. Relax, you good. Welcome to the show. Happy birthday, man. Do your thing. Gerald Sunbright II. Welcome to the show, man. Good to see you. It's more times too. Here to get my feelings crushed. Hey, man, look. I'm just being me. You can't come over here with feelings that ain't got no integrity to them. Look, you lucky I said something. Other motherfuckers are just, abuse you. I'm not abusing you. You just kind of soft. And I get it. I'm pretty soft too. Look. I'm kind of soft too, But you got to thicken up. You got to toughen up. It's all right. You'll be all right, man. Of course, saying good to see you in the chat too. Welcome to the show. Rocky saw the title and was like, that's me. Got to. Hey, bro, look. Real shit, it's good. It's good to be able to see some shit and be like, man, this motherfucker talking about me. Like, because I don't have to say I'm talking about you. It's a courtesy, once again. But it's good practice to be able to look and say, man, that motherfucker talking about me. Unless, of course, pride got a hold on you. Because you can't do it. Pride got a hold on you. So the first step, you already there. Welcome to the show. Y'all doing it all right. Dawson, good to see you in the chat. Don't see you in the guild. But, hey, it is what it is. You're going to do what you do while you do it. All right, man. Cast a spell, good to see you in the show. Morning, sweetheart. Marshad Ledbetter, yo. Don't sleep on Marshad, bro. He be in there. Good to see you in the show, man. Malik, pride and humility. We gonna get into it. Man. All right. Cool. Got you guys. So, this is what I want to do today, man. Cause real shit, bro. As far as the basics of practical magic, I've talked about it. I've given you all the shit. But I can keep doing it. See, the thing is, bro, it's not some new shit you need. Motherfuckers like new shit. It feels good. It's like getting presents as a kid. You know, it's real shit. It's not that you chasing the information. It's not that you seeking the information in that respect. What you seeking is that little feeling you get when you find something that seems like it's new. It's alright. I get it. It's your shit. I get it. But yeah, bro, I've been doing this shit for a minute, man. But it's cool. It's cool. I can keep doing it. This is what I want to talk about today. Specifically pride. Yeah, specifically pride. Um, but I don't want to give you the impression that uh, it's just a bad thing. For real shit, if you're still modeling the world using good and bad, not only are you stuck in that dual dichotomy type shit that's gonna fuck you up anyway. Good and bad are words we use to explain the world to children. Arius, explain it to me like a child. Okay, but when I treat you like a child, don't get mad. You gotta stop thinking on a child level. See, the whole heart and mind of a child, bro, it's not think on a child level. It's the openness to the world like a child has. It's an openness to the world. Heart of a child. It's an openness to the possibility of being hurt. It's a trusting, a risking mind of a child looking at the world as though you don't know what the fuck it is. Because real shit, you don't. But when pride got a hold of you, you can't tell. You too busy trying to hold that little bitty chest up. Little bird chest trying to tip. Stop. Let's start the show, guys. This is going to be fun today. Wrong one. There we go. This shit riding, but y'all like tripping. This shit riding. Oh god, man, this shit riding. Niggas don't do that, bro. Niggas can't. Look, me just starting to shit on niggas. Alright, y'all. Yeah, man, bro. Look, this shit is here, man. Don't nobody else you know do this. Don't nobody else do this. Fuck out of here. Yeah, bro. I was talking about this the other day in the guild, bro. I got descriptions of the different paths of ascension, what the fuck ascension is, what the fuck shadow work is, what the fuck spiritual frameworks are. So yeah, at this point, it's really not gatekeeping at all. But you know, niggas don't want to do the work. Niggas don't want to do the work. Fuck you talking about? Do the work, Ayers. Tell me how to do the shortcut. Fuck you talking about? That's your boy. I'm alright. I'm not, but I will be. I'm not alright, but I will be. Okay, so where am I at, bro? Where am I at on the chat, bro? There it is. I saw it. Why do I hate when people try to copy me? I be like, follow your own wave, not mine. Look, look, bro. You hate the things in other people that you do. You hate the other things in people that you do. So real shit, you get in touch with why you do it. You'll understand them. And you probably have less reason to hate them. Okay. That man said, but I've been here before. All the answers I have are inside me. Bro, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Because then I'm going to ask you what is you. You know I'm gonna ask you what is you. Alright, so check me out, guys. I like the J. Cole song too. I was listening to it this morning. Really, I love that song. Um, Pride. Okay. Quite often, I talk about how people have a tendency to use words from a particular model without understanding the model that the word comes from. And if you don't understand the model the word comes from, you don't really understand the word. Okay. Um, like part of what I mean when I tell you niggas I'm the ego, it has a lot to do with what you're gonna see, but you have to know what ego is. A lot of times when people are saying ego, what they mean is pride. That's not what it means in the model it comes from. That's what it means for people colloquially. Or what's another word for colloquial? I gotta speak baby English. I hate that shit, bro. Whatever. Used in or characteristic of familiar or informal conversation. Okay, there's another word that's in my head. Anyways, uh, colloquially. So in commonplace speak. When motherfuckers say ego, what they mean is pride. Okay. When motherfuckers say ego, what they mean is pride. It's easy to just talk about the effects of pride or to suggest to someone that they be less prideful. But ego, just like pride, is not a villain. It's not a villain. And it's not something that's doing something to you. What the fuck is you? See, bro, I'm saying I'm the ego. What is the ego? An ego is a self. It's a sense of self in the model it comes from. I had so many places I want to just I'm not doing it though. Why? Because the babies is sensitive. It's okay. Look, it would break it down like a kindergartner, but I can't call you a baby. Fuck you mean, bro? They're babies. You call a kindergartner a baby. First thing they want to do, I'm not a baby anymore. Okay. Anyways. Seven deadly sins. Pride is part of a model called the seven deadly sins. It's for all intents and purposes, bro. It's a very Christian model. Okay, and I don't mean reject it and abandon it and run away. All right, look, especially if you speak English. If you speak English, you can't be running away from Christianity. The two are deeply intertwined. It would behoove you to understand it a little more. I understand. No, you don't. You don't understand English or Christianity. Damn, bruh. That shit. That's the pride. The seven deadly sins are the children of the ego. See, pride look like his daddy. He is sweating the same motherfucker. Look like his daddy. Pride ain't the ego. Pride ain't the ego. Okay? It's a model. It's part of a model. Pride is part of a model. When we're talking about the seven deadly sins and the seven virtues, we're talking about a model. It's a model of the self. What is the image they have on here? This is a really nice image. Look. We're talking about a model of the self. Still don't understand. Slow down. Let me look. Contemporarily, especially here in the West, and to the degree to which it extends its creepy little arms into globalization, colonization, whatever. Um, we're used to describing and framing the world based on materialism, based on physicalism, based on dualism. Okay, and I have shows where I talk about some of the history of that, and I try not to because there's people who can do it more justice. I'll tell you about it, but I don't need to look like I know everything. That's so dumb. Anyways, it's a model for the South. But is it true? Is it real, Aries? Boy, stop. I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna slap you, bruh. I don't even know what the fuck true and real means. Anyways, it's a model. When I'm saying what is you, because look, you motherfuckers are telling me, look, hey man, my ancestors got my back. I talk with the great mother. It's all within you. I won't deny you any of that. But I'm curious, what the fuck is you? It's not a trick question. Motherfuckers will look at the trickster and the trickster, oh my God, look, the trickster's doing something to me. But stop. You tricked yourself 10 steps ago, and you're lucky somebody said something to you before someone came along and abused your little tender self. Ugh. Why can't I just be a dick and you learn? You need me to be this, whatever. Is there a difference between pride and prideful? Pride is the thing. Prideful is like qualifying it based on the thing. Um, what's a good way to say this? Magical. All right, like that UL is like AL. English language suffixes. Because all you really did was change the vowel there to fit the rest of the root word. But I mean, real shit. It's this one's kind of easy because it's got the full. All right, so it's full of pride. Um, yeah. See, bro, that's slight. I guess you could say grammar. Anyways, I was just about to go in on fucking suffixes. Whatever. Look, Seven Deadly Sins is a model of the South. Before the metaphysics that people use today, there was always a framing or a model of the self. See, today, if people are going to describe to you the self, what you're usually looking for is some description of the physical body. Or you can repeat stuff. Body, spirit, and soul. Right? Okay, cool. You can say the words, just like I say, you can say the words. What model is that? Where do those words come from? What you mean a model, Aries? Cars have a make and a model. So what do I mean? A make and a model. The conceptual framework that the world is made of atoms is a model. That mean it's not true? Shh, 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 shh. It's a framework. And you gotta know what the model does. Here, look. Because you can't use a model to do something that it's not made to do. Cars making model. Damn, look at this nigga right here, bro. This nigga looks scary. Like, he look like, damn, okay, this AI. Bro, tripping. Anyways, make refers to the brand. Model identifies the specific vehicle type. So, I mean, that's basic, right? You can't just take something out of one model and necessarily throw it into another model, especially if it's a different make. So if I got the alternator in a Toyota something, I'm not good with cars either. if I take the alternator out of a Toyota something, I can't just put it into another car that's not made to fit that. Particular models are made to do particular things. If you got a two-door coupe, it's not made to house your family of 7. If you got a particular model, you got the two-door coupe, it's not made to haul fucking pallets of cement. If you got the two-door coupe, it's not made to be a tractor at a farm. You have to understand the model you're using. It's not just a matter of picking up new words. European model? What you mean European model? Well, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by the question. I see the question. Don't know what you mean by it. So keep in mind, guys, this is a model of the self. It's a model of the self. Okay? And there's ways to understand this. I want to talk about, how you can understand this. But that's the first thing you got to understand. You don't want to try and correspond these to different atoms and molecules and cells and organs. Like, slow down, bruh. Well, pride is really the heart, and that's really what they were talking about, because it's got the 4 ventricles, and then with lust, what they were talking about is the genitals, because you see, there's this particular pattern in the No, you're wrong. Niggas love reducing this shit to the body, bruh. It's not the body. But why would you think it's the body? See, I'm not trying to be above you and to pretend like I can't understand why you're doing what you're doing. Why would you reduce it to the body? Because that's what you think you are. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Look. Axioms, bro. Axioms. And I'm not the only nigga in the world to tell you about axioms. These other spiritual niggas ain't gonna tell you because they ain't got no actual models. They just got a pocket full of words that you impressed with. Mind, body, soul is from the European model is what I was asking. No. Well, some of the words from English, yes. But for real shit, Europe doesn't necessarily have too many spiritual systems, okay? Like, when you say that, either you're talking about Christianity, maybe Neoplatonism, Gnosticism, or you're talking about like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Rosicrucians, which once again they're not doing anything new. Okay, so I wouldn't just say it's from a European model. It's actually from a couple models, like the word mind, soul, psyche. These have a Greek origin. Okay, so you have to know what they're pointing to. You hear somebody say mind, and you think, oh, I know what that is, because you use the word in common speech, common parlance. That's what I was looking for, as opposed to colloquial parlance, common parlance. You use the word mind in common parlance, and so you think, oh, well, I know what the word means. No. Used by many people in ordinary conversation. All right, colloquial. Just because you use the word doesn't mean you know what it means. Like, this how motherfuckers will get you with all these new spirity sounding words. Because you hear a word you've never heard before. And so you think it's pointing to something you've never thought about. Pride is the devil, boy. I was about to go. So you have to keep that in mind first and foremost. Because look, the seven sense, this isn't necessarily conducive to mind, soul, spirit, and body. Okay? This isn't necessarily conducive to soul, spirit, and body. Now, to be honest, I could correlate it for you. It's not really that difficult. Here, let me show you. There's 7 of them. There's 7 of them, just like the 7 chakras. There's 7 of them. So I can correlate that with you for the threefold model, the Bookman model. You want to do a 12-fold model, like the Zodiac. You want to do a 10-fold model or 11-fold model, like the Tree of Life and the Kalipov. We can do that. It's not difficult, but it's somewhat superfluous. It's not necessarily necessary. This is what people do when they're confused. So, look, when we're talking about something spiritual, bro, remember, in order for it to be spiritual, it has to have continuity with the world beyond the physical. In order to be talking about something spiritual, it has to have continuity with the world beyond the physical. What you gonna do? Say astral? Once again, same thing with mind, body, and soul. Where does that come from? Are you using the rest of the model? No. You say the word that other people know, so you can say what you feel. And that's just saying what you feel ain't understanding. Like, the spiritual stuff isn't a hobby, isn't something you do on the weekend. Like, that's what you got from being a bad Christian. If you're going to have understanding, bro, you got to have enough humility. There you go, of course, saying humility to actually be able to recognize when you might not understand. Axioms, okay? Look, spiritual frameworks are going to have these axioms. They'll probably have more, to be completely honest, at the bare minimum. And you can even reduce these axioms to a single axiom. But what I'm talking about, what anyone is talking about with the spiritual framework, is not the body. It's not the body. Ugh. I know you're a fan of melanin and DNA. I know you're a fan of the oil in your spine and, well, I've raised my sexual energy. No, just stop. Just stop. There's more to this. And Rich, like, that's crucial right there. What is you? When I'm talking to folks in the guild, this first axiom, bro, this is the big one. And talk is cheap. It's easy to say something. It's easy to say I believe this. It's easy to just say I believe. And most people, that's what they've known what it means to believe. To have a statement. To have a statement that you claim, I believe this. And it's just cap. First axiom. I'm sorry. Because I'm going to get into the 7 senses for you guys. The first axiom. I am not my body, or I am more than my body. Now, right out the gate, subtle distinction between the two. Right out the gate, subtle distinction between the two. And it's easy to say, I believe this. What do your actions say? What do your fears say? How you frame the world. And I've gotten into the habit of trying to explain this in a bit of an equation, okay? In a bit of an equation. If I'm describing you, okay? If I'm describing you, and I subtract the physical body and the physical world, what's left? It's a question for you to think about. There isn't a right answer. There's an honest answer. What do you honestly believe? Don't give me a word you've heard from someone. This ain't grade school. Because whatever fucking words you use is going to frame the next question you get asked. Think of it like an equation. If I'm describing you and I subtract from this description the body and the physical world, what do you have left? Because the answer is dependent upon how you're framing you, how you've modeled you. What's the right way to do it? Boy, stop. True, real, right. You missing it. You don't even understand what the words mean. Fuck. Those are large philosophical questions that have been asked for eons, and especially when it comes to philosophy, it's more about understanding the territory of the question than it is about coming to a particular answer. With the school shit, you used to come into a particular answer, it's the right answer, and you get a gold star. No. Philosophy. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy. What is real? Ontology. Ontology. Hell, I could even possibly contemplate the idea of truth being no, I wouldn't even necessarily say it's an ontological reality. I'd be closer to saying epistemological. But there's room to have the argument. Oh, I'm above debate. Well, then go home, bitch. Fuck. Ugh. I don't have to be a dick. You're not the only one who has issues. Mind, body, and soul is also okay. The model is developed within the framework. Yes. Yeah. Well. The framework itself is a model, but the model for the self, because the self would be something that's part of the framework, would be developed within the framework. So the framework itself is a model. Yeah. People always relate lust to some type of sexual stuff, and it don't necessarily have to be. It don't necessarily have to be. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Amar, you're. Is that the new thing you can say? You're Soldier Boy off in this. Okay, sorry. I was about to have fun. So when we're talking about the seven deadly sins, it's a model of the self. Okay. So keep that in mind. And if we're talking about a model of the self, you can't try and take it out of the context it exists in. Otherwise, it's not going to do what it was supposed to do. If I take the liver out of the chest here, right, and I put in the liver of a turtle, well, it's a liver. No, but it's not going to work. And look, the degree to which you get it to work, you have to do some ridiculous finagling. Especially here in the West, people are really caught up in the idea of the self. What is the self? You got people who come out of the Carl Jung camp and they hear talk of the South, and so they think they heard it. They run to try and understand the spiritual systems of the East. I meditate. Like, you know where any of that comes from? My chakras are aligned. Do you know where any of that comes from? Well, I astral trap. Do you know where any of that comes from? No, but it's okay. See, man, you gotta watch out, bruh. Because look, we in an age I'm not allowed to talk. I'm not allowed to say nobody's name. I can't say it. I can't say, hey, look out for this motherfucker. One, you're not gonna listen to me anyway. Two, they gonna get mad because they don't want me to be right about that. Look, you have to develop discernment, especially when it comes to something like spirituality and occultism. It's a huge field. It's huge. There's so many different models, so many different people who have spoken about this. Even worse, in today's climate, there's so many people trying to speak about it as though they know what the fuck they're talking about. And there's no rules to say, hey, this motherfucker need to shut up. Motherfuckers in default trophies, bro. I got a good bit of going back when it comes to watching these videos, Brother Aries, but grateful to see you live. Oh, okay, hey, man. Thank you, I guess. Good luck, bro. Get in there. Get in there. Don't just get into my videos, especially if you're not going to share them. Get into your ignorance. Don't just wear your ignorance as a badge of pride. See how I went back to pride? You get that a lot. I'm being the fool. I'm just the cosmic clown. No, kiddo. No. You can say anything if you can say it well. Yeah. That's why you have to watch out where you get this information from. It's not to say there's good and bad sources. It's you have to be able to tell whether or not somebody know what the fuck they talking about. If they're above debate, if they tell you stuff, if they tell you some shit like take what you need and leave the rest, question it. Real shit, bro. That's a red flag. How the fuck you know what you need? How the fuck you know what you need? If you done got the pride out the way, you've already admitted to yourself, I don't know what I need to know. And you should be able to ask them, bro. So why would you need a model of the self? To have an understanding of what it is. To have an understanding of what it is. Like, this is why I'm so serious about metaphysics. It's not just because I like it. This is the how you frame the world. How the world is framed. And you especially want to look at the metaphysics that you've been using. Well, I don't know what it is, and you need to look even harder. Because everyone uses one. Essentially, what you're doing in metaphysics is trying to map something that is unmappable. You're trying to devise a model to describe something that is infinitely infinite. And so you have to have the understanding of what the fuck the model is for before you try and jump to how do I use it. I'm showing you a model of that two-door coupe, and I'm explaining to you what it is. And the whole time you listening so that you can figure out how to use it to harvest your crops on your uncle's farm. You clearly don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. And you're not listening because you're too busy trying to figure out how to do something with it. You don't even know what it is. That fake humble shit, bro, is everywhere today. It's everywhere. The virtue signal, the reverse virtue signal. Oh, I'm humble. I don't think I'm better than anybody. Default trophies. Default trophies. Because it's difficult work to be exceptional at something. It's difficult work to be exceptional at something. And as opposed to going through the work, you neutralize the significance of any work. I'm the same as everyone. No, you're not. See, you'll get the spiritual teachers who'll be like, hey, bro, I'm the same as everyone. We're all equal. Coward. Weakness. That's weak shit, bro. It's weak shit. Only the weak are looking for equality. Because when you're good at some shit, I don't need to be equal to you. I'm already better. And that's not monolithic. Like, look, if we're talking about cars, you're better than me. If we're talking about cooking, you're better than me. Like, there's so many places where a motherfucker is easily better than me, and it doesn't mean something's wrong. But if you're not good at shit, that's different. If you're not good at shit, it always hurts to see that somebody's better than you. Pride is the devil, boy. I tell you, but I know it's got a hold of you. Fuse Piccolo, good to see you in the chat. Between I'm not the body and I'm more than the body, could that suggest that from one point of view, the body isn't part of your being, while from the other, I'm more than the body, it suggests that the body is? Yes. Part of your being. Yes. Once again, subtle distinction between the two. Subtle distinction between the two. But neither of them are necessarily wrong. The big emphasis is that unless you start here, what you're talking about is just physical. Unless you start here, what you're talking about is just physical. So if I can explain what you is with just the physical body, there's no spiritual there. Like that's basic logic. The axioms are where you begin your line of reasoning. Just like with physics, you got the Big Bang. That's where you begin your line of reasoning. In Christianity, you got God created the earth in 7 days. All right? It's axiomatic. It's where your line of reasoning begins. So you have to check where your line of reasoning begins. That way, when you're confused about what you're looking at, you can always pull it back to your line of reasoning. Like anything that someone talks about in physics or even quantum physics, they can always pull back the ideas to the axioms. Because, I mean, honestly, you could think about anything in any terms. And so you have to start somewhere. Philosophically, you could call an axiom a given miracle, okay? Because it's a miracle you can ever decide where to start. Usually the axiomatics are known as self-evident, okay? The Big Bang, usually self-evident in the sense where you don't question it. God created the earth in 7 days. Christianity, it's self-evident in a way that where it's not going to be challenged. Not that it can't be challenged, but that you're not challenging it in terms of your line of reasoning. Oh, I challenge everything. No, you don't. Oh, I hate kids. God. Oh. Illis Vlogs. Save this, please. Hey, man, make sure you talk to YouTube. YouTube likes to block me. Anyways, so yeah. In terms of if what you're talking about is going to be spiritual, it has to have a continuity with reality beyond just physical. And part of why this is important, guys, is that the metaphysics people use today is physicalism. It's materialism. If you're reducing these spiritual and metaphysical concepts to the physical body, Atoms, melanin, DNA. Look, melanin and DNA is atoms with extra steps. Glands in the body, well, your pineal gland. Atoms with extra steps. The framework of atoms is physicalism. It's a framework that's specifically like, look, there's nothing else but the physical world. Now, to be honest, there are some physicists for the last 40 years, quite publicly, so this isn't hidden, no one's trying to hide it from you, who have been quite public about the fact that space-time, this model that we're using of atoms, energy, oh, you love energy, energy, these things are not fundamental to reality. See, if you're pointing to spirituality, you're looking towards the fundamentals of reality. It's not as simple as saying all is mind. Especially if you don't know what the fuck the word mind means. And that's why you need both parts of that first Hermetic principle. Because it goes straight to mental. Remember, side ejects. Pride, prideful. Mind, mental. There's a distinction being made. The biggest thing with pride these days, bro, is motherfuckers are impressed with themselves. You're impressed with yourself for knowing things a Christian doesn't know. And it's mostly knowing words. You can hit a Christian with a word they don't know. Have you ever heard about soul? This is simply this, Christian. Ha 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 ha. No. Oh. Let's talk about the seven sins. Okay. Let's talk about the seven sins. Like I said, it's primarily a Christian model of of the self. Okay. Now, just because it's Christian doesn't mean it's bad, kiddos. Just because it's Christian doesn't mean it's bad. Okay. I'm talking to you about the metaphysics it comes from. Okay, here I have that right there. I'll pull that up in a second. Yeah, I'll tell you how to use it. I don't care. Look, you have to remember this first. Unless you subscribe to the model, it doesn't really make a difference what it is or how you use it. Okay? Just like I'm saying, it exists in a particular context. So if you're not going to lean in to how the framework works, it's not going to do anything for you. Like, okay, I get there's 7 of them. All right, there's 7 sins, and you said 7 chakras. So it must be the different context. Because the 7 deadly sins, each of the sins corresponds to a virtue. 7 and 7, that's 14. So it's a 14-fold model of the self. So you can't just slap chakras on it, okay? I get 7 and 7, here it is. No, just slow down, kiddo. Just fucking slow down. I'll be alright. See, I don't have to be as mean as I want to be. Look, you can check out Wikipedia to begin looking at some of the origins of these things. It's not because Wikipedia is the end-all, be-all, or the greatest source. It's to begin your study. You have to remember, people that were spiritual masters devoted their life to studying a single framework. You claiming to be able to correspond these multiple frameworks and you ain't devoting your life to studying the frameworks? You're capping. let alone study one framework. You motherfuckers won't study one framework. You'll reject this one and that one and this one and that one so you can grab onto whatever the fuck is convenient. This is a life's work. This is not something you can do on the weekends. And it's deeply a philosophical work. This stuff isn't gonna add up to the same way that the natural sciences of the Western world adds up. This isn't biology. This isn't physics. This isn't quantum physics. It's physics with extra steps. Fuck. Quantum physics is physics with extra steps. There's no particle for pride. And there's no sense in reducing it to a particle. Because then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. God, it really bothers me. But it's alright, get your ass in the guild. I'll whip your ass in there. Okay, so traditionally 7 sins. Let's talk about what the fuck a sin is. Here, look at this real quick. Let me get some more coffee. Cause this be my shit, bro. I know y'all niggas love Bobby Hemming.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'd come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Yeah. All right then.
That shit kill me, bro. Nigga, Bobby said check. You supposed to say whether or not you understand. Ask a fucking question. Challenge your understanding of what you listening to. This ain't church. Amen. Oh no, we say check round here. Check. You only clap once. Don't clap a bunch of times. Clap once. Because see, what it is that the vibration of the sound of the clap resonates with the ancestral libation. Shut up. Shut up. God, I'm a piece of shit. You seem like you don't have any fears. You seem like you don't have any emotions, Aries. Do you need to see me broken? Is that what it is? You need to see me broken before I'm allowed to have emotions. Right? I can't believe it unless I see him break. Fuck out of here. Just keep your girl away from me. Alright, check me out. Like I said, a model of the self, okay? And it's in a Christian metaphysics. Alright, it's in a Christian metaphysics. So we're talking about the composition of the self. And not just the fucking body, bro. Because the body's not the self. Excuse me. Like, look, if you want to look at this image, like right down here on the floor, you could say maybe that's the body. Okay? Up here, this is the self proper, maybe, okay? But because this is an image of the heart, not in the sense of 4 ventricles, piece of flesh in the chest, okay? Heart in the sense of the center of what you are, the center of your being. Let's get to the heart of the matter. What are we talking about? Let's get to the heart of the matter. What's the heart of something? It's its center. Gotta listen, kiddo. Gotta listen. So, we're talking about the center. All right? The center of the self. It has 6 things around it, 1 in the middle. 6 around, 1 in the middle. What does that add up to? 7. Great job. Great job, kiddo. 7. Here. A good way to think about this, in terms of how it's modeled. Here we go. I don't want to use that. It's got a line on it. And it's going to get confused by the line. Here, we'll do this one. We'll do this one. All right. Boom. Let me zoom into it. Let me zoom into it so the kiddies can see. All right. Here we go, guys. Check me out. So, when we're thinking the heart of a lettuce, there you go. Look, artichoke hearts, right? You got to get in here and then think about your thinking. That's what philosophy is going to call you to do. And I'm going to tell you to question your understanding of what you hear. I don't have to be mad, but I am. I don't have to be. Hey Arius, I'm wondering, you being a teacher and probably having to grasp a lot of frameworks, do you study one framework personally? Could you speak on it? Why? So you can do what I do? Leave me alone. No. Look, no, I don't study one framework personally. Like, I didn't get into this shit to teach. I don't like teaching. I don't like students. Motherfucker, I'm a master student. Shut that prideful shit up, bruh. How you a master student? Huh? Who determined that as a student you were a master of students? Well, I determined it myself. It's in there shining off your default trophies. What? Stop. That shit. I don't particularly study a single model. In fact, in order to understand what motherfuckers have been talking about, you're not going to be able to. What I do is teach from the Bookman model. This is a model made specifically for people in the West. All right, it's part of why I talk about how the West has been using models. Because you have to understand what a model is. So I don't study just one model. In fact, most models are fragmented. You know, look, Massa and them come into your community, you know, start shooting the nose off stuff, burning the totems, you know, destroying the libraries, call you a jigaboo and slap you. And now all your shit, all your history, the entire manner in which you frame the world has been uprooted and fragmented. So you get most of these things are in pieces. Most of this shit is in pieces. Like there are a few that like if you like the few that are in Europe, those are actually still somewhat intact, although not in use. You can look into the Celtic shit, the Norse shit. Okay, you can look at all that Rosicrucian shit. It's not that they're bad. Like Hinduism, Santa Dharma, that one is surprisingly still intact. I love the fact that it's still intact the way it is. There's so many different models about how to frame the world. And flat earthers, boy, them niggas don't know what the fuck they talk. They look at a model and they confuse the map and the territory. Even Buddhism has a model of the world. So no, there isn't a particular model I use to learn this. You have to get into the books. You have to get into the research. You have to question your understanding. Well, what book should I read? A dictionary. Real shit. A dictionary. Get that thesaurus out. Study grammar, philosophy of language, philosophy of mind. You ain't even touch philosophy of mind and telling folk, all is mind, don't you understand? I'll be okay. But that's part of the reason I made the Bookman model. It's a bare bones model for people in the West. Why? People in the West are using physicalism. Since the post-European Enlightenment, okay, with the schism between science and the church, has given us the way we culturally think today, which is atoms, biology, physics, where there is no you unless you're talking about the body. No one else ever framed the world like that, not even Christians. It's part of the reason people can't connect with religion anymore, because the way they frame the world isn't conducive. It doesn't afford you that. It doesn't connect. The way people frame the world today, anything that's not physical isn't real. It's as simple as that. And that has nothing to do with what the facts are. That's an ontological question. It's an ontological question. That's philosophy. And I tell you right now, you're not going to have ontology without epistemology. I know. Some people will just say ontology as if they didn't just get it from me. Don't you say anything about people. My apologies. But yeah, ain't no particular framework I would tell you to study other than this one. You could, because the frameworks are made for the people who use them. The Egyptian pantheon, a model of reality. Hippos and crocodiles, a jackal and a lion, right? You can't give that to a motherfucker who live in the snow. Why? That system was made for those people. Got a Native American system. They got the deer and coyote and the fox. You can't give that to a motherfucker who live out there on the ocean. They need one with water and certain kind of waves and different fish and the eel and the jellyfish and the whale. But that's not going to work for somebody who lives at the top of a mountain. So just going and picking up an old framework and trying to learn it isn't going to work. Going from the west to the east and picking up a different framework isn't going to work. You're just going to misinterpret it. And it's not because you're dumb. It's because you didn't check your work. You didn't check to see what the fuck you're talking about. Motherfuckers from the West love to try and run to the East. Oh, look, I'm gonna pick up Buddhism. I'm gonna pick up Taoism, and now this is what I do. Nah, fuck out of here. Quit colonizing people's shit. Chill out. Understand what the fuck you looking at. You can't tell me you're gonna go somewhere unless you know where the fuck you at already. I'll be here all day with that one. Let me make sure I answered this. That's a lot of framework. And okay, look. And that's why I have this image here. And once again, you can click the link in the description. It goes to the details. You can take all this for free. You can take it and pretend it's yours. You probably get out there and share it a little bit before I catch up to you. But look, I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck because this isn't new. If you understand the fundamental principles, you can build a whole framework. This is why I make the Bookman model. You can build a whole framework. Now, the devil's in the details. I will tell you that, and it ain't easy. Boy, ask niggas in the guild. It ain't easy. It's more work than you think it's going to be. Most people only want to do it because they want to get away from what they want to get away from, and they don't actually want to learn this stuff. And when you understand the underlying principles, the fundamentals, it's just easy. It's just easy. Like most of what I've talked about teaching with the YouTube videos, bro, most of it has been fundamentals. But the first question is always, how do I use it in my day-to-day life? Which is a whole different conversation. And that's even presuming you understood the fundamentals to begin with. So yeah, I talk about the fundamentals. Here, I even have another YouTube video where I talk about it at length. I have a couple lessons. I've been talking about it for years. Here, I'll point out a few things. And these are just the lives, bro. Fuck you mean. Bro, can't nobody else do this. Fuck you talking about. That's your boy and them out there. They don't know what's going on. I gotta stop shitting on niggas for no reason. That's just awful. Here's one. Natural law. Transcendental substratum. Nigga thought he knew the word. Fuck you talking about. Transcendental substratum. That's the whole kit and caboodle right there. I'll break it down even in a different way. Look, I go the fundamental maps. Boom, 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 boom. That's 5 episodes. That's everything I talk about in those 5 episodes in 1 episode. Fuck you mean, bruh? Where your boy in there? It's gotta be. Look, I talk about the metaphysical map of chakras. I talk about the zodiac, the tree of life. Like, I've gone over it. So it's here for free. And you know, nigga like me, I don't turn off the comments. Holla at your boy. No, I can't do that. You know, I'm just above. Dude, shut up. Just shut up. So, there's no particular singular system I'll tell you to look at, unless, of course, you're about to devote your life to adopting it, which is what people did. When you were initiated, not only did it take years to be initiated, initiation is the beginning. See, it's not, oh, I'm initiated and now I'm the real nigga out here. No. You're initiated and now you're ready to begin. Most of y'all niggas ain't even begun initiation. A lot of motherfuckers gone through it, not even gone through it, gotten into it and didn't finish. Didn't finish, but decided to start teaching. Any motherfucker out here telling you this shit reduces to the physical body, failed their initiation. They don't know what they're talking about. And they don't know because pride got a hold of them. They feel real good. They're impressed with themselves. I can teach now. Look at me. I can teach now. Look, them be the same motherfuckers who's above debate. Well, everyone is right. If everyone was right, why teach? If everyone's already doing it, why teach? Look, some Christian nigga doing it, right? Some nigga who atheist doing it, right? Why teach anybody? If everyone's right. Because it's a lie. It's not that everyone's right. You want to validate being able to say whatever you want to say. Take what you need and leave the rest. You want to validate being able to say whatever you want to say. Take what I say with a grain of salt. You want to validate being able to say whatever the fuck you want to say. You go to a doctor. Do you want that motherfucker to have educated themselves in that manner? Well, you know, I didn't really go to law school. I got a few of these law books and I just took what I needed. You're a mechanic. Well, you know, I never really learned per se how to fix cars. But, you know, I read the books and I take what I need. Come on. You don't want anyone that you expect to be competent to learn that way. It's bullshit. Above debate? Please. Please. You gonna go to a doctor who was above debate? Well, really, the heart is made of feta cheese. Oh, no. I'm above debating. Just take what you need and then leave the rest. Yes, the heart is made of feta cheese. This is why it's good to eat pita bread. It's dumb. It's wrong. But motherfuckers will say it to justify being able to do what they already wanted to do. Fuck out of here. Pride got a hold on you. You're arrogant. Yeah, I'm arrogant because I'm better than you at this. You ain't gonna see me be arrogant under the hood of a car? On the stove? Let's stop. With algebra? Trigonometry? Calculus? Boy, pull out a quadratic equation. I'm shutting my ass up. Fuck you mean? Ugh. Check me out, guys. Okay. So look, what do? 7 cents, right? Remember I showed you this. Within the heart, there's 6 and 1. See, like if you're not gonna say the body's down here, you can say it's this snail that homie is standing on. You could say it, okay? And because these alchemical pictures have so much in them. They have so much in them, so I hate teaching people to just correspond. The motherfuckers love to do that. You get you a correspondence and you think you done figured it out. It's wrong. Correspondence is not causation. What's causation? You can get into philosophy. Chill out. It's about what causes what is causation. So just because two things correspond doesn't mean they're the same thing or one is causing the other. Well, the third eye corresponds to the pineal gland. So? Well, isn't that significant? Are you asking me now? I'd say it's not significant. It's a model. It's a way of modeling an idea. It's not to say the pineal gland is the third eye. When you already want to know what you want to know, man, stop, bro. Niggas is impressed with themselves for nothing. So, 6 around 1. 2 3s around 1. 3, 3, 1. Okay? And look, this 1 in the middle is threefold. 3, 3, and the 1 in the middle is threefold. Which means it's a little bit bigger than any of the individual parts. It's more significant in a different way. So, we're looking at this, okay? Pride is the center. Pride is the oldest of these 7 kids. Pride is the ringleader. He's the Angelica Pickles of the kids. You got to watch Rugrats. Okay, Rugrats, they got an Angelica Pickles. And I want to tell you how to model it so you can understand how to use it if you were to adopt the model, okay? What is sin? What is sin? Sin is missing the mark. Sin is missing the mark, okay? Don't just think, I did a bad thing. Slow down. Not good and bad. Don't frame the world with good and bad, okay? To sin is to miss the mark. Imagine shooting an arrow, right? You aim. Niggas don't shoot arrows. Imagine you got a gun, right? Right? You aim, pow, but you miss. The degree to which you're off course is sin. If you're off course, you're sinning. What is da'ath? It's being on course. It's being on course. The spooky dark energy melanin. Shut up. It's so dumb. I'm good. A convenient way to look at this idea is think about the 6 faces of a cube and the center point. Remember, 3 and 3 surrounding 1. Okay? 3 and 3 surrounding 1. Because all 6 of the sins that are not pride are connected to it. Pride is the center of them. Okay, pride is the center of them. What are those 7 sins? Excuse me. Let me go through that, because we also have to talk about what the virtues are. So it'll probably behoove you to look into the history of some of these things and not just jump out here and try and teach a Christian. You Christians do this shit better than y'all. What you mean? These religious people. Shut up, bro. Whatever. Pride. Greed. Hey, let's look at them a little closer. Pride is a human secondary emotion that constitutes a sense of satisfaction with one's identity. Right there. Right there. Like I said, ego and pride look the same. The sins are the children of the ego. Pride looked like his daddy. That satisfaction with your sense of yourself. It's not bad or wrong to have a sense of satisfaction with yourself. The place to the degree to which it's a sin is when you're lying. It's when you're compensating. Pride is not a bad thing. But when you're lying to yourself about it, it is. When it's been contaminated with fear and avoidance, it is. Fake humility is pride. Well, I'm humble. I'm not better than anybody else. No, you're probably just shit and don't want to have to look at it. Everyone's the same. They're not. They're not. And you know they're not, because you don't treat everybody the same. You can't. You can't treat everyone the same. And if you do, you're short-sighted. You're naive. You're selfish. Why do you help an old lady across the street? Because she need it. She can't walk really well no more. Her eyes a little fucked up. She needs some assistance. What about that young... Look, you see the dude running down the street for exercise? You didn't help him across the street. Why? He don't need it. Well, hold on, what you mean you don't need it? I thought everybody was the same. They're not. And you know they're not. Somebody walking through Kroger, right? Slaps a baby. Just walk up to slap a baby, right? Mama said, oh no, slap her too. You gotta protect him. Oh my God, what are you doing? Tackle that guy, get him. Why? He's not the same as them. As a man, he's stronger than them. See, everybody's not the same, and you know everybody's not the same, but you'll say it because it allows you to have satisfaction with the sense of yourself you'd like to think you are. There's a difference between what you believe and what you like to believe. You like to believe you're not a liar, right? But you lie. You like to believe you're a good person. About to piss me off. I'm about to be pissed off. I'll be alright. Here. I'm gonna play it again because I love it, and I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Be right back.
And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion. Saying nothing well and playing on your emotion. Tell a person what they want to hear and say nothing well. You can say nothing if you can say it well. They play on your emotion. And that's the problem with our people. They have been teaching you what you wanted to hear and not what you really needed to hear because they didn't know what you really needed to hear. That's called the art of public speaking. They play on your emotion. So that's getting your emotion up to a certain level, and you thinking that's spiritual, that's emotionalism. They play on your emotion. And they'll come up and they would come into some stuff and they would be talking all this good stuff and people, yeah. But everybody's ignorant. You see what I'm saying? They play on your emotion. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. And if everybody agreeing on the same thing, somebody wrong. You see? Check? Check. All right then. They play on your emotion.
Playing on your emotion. Telling you the chosen. Right? Pride is the devil. Well, I know it got a hold on you. We're the chosen. We're the chosen. See, what y'all need to know is if you are chosen, that's the reason you have trouble with this and that. The people don't like you because you're the chosen. They know you pure. And so they just the narcissist. But stop. That's one of the most narcissistic things I've ever heard. Calling yourself the chosen. Fuck out of here. Gerson said, hell yeah, good to see you in chat, bro. Yeah, that shit's work, bro. It's work. It's work in ways motherfuckers ain't ready for. They trying to find a shortcut. There ain't no shortcut out here, man. Yeah, nah. Oh, you're talking about the feta cheese. And Amali, good to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. Ego is like, whatever I shoot at is the target. Well, look, you shoot the arrow and then draw the target around there. Boy, stop. Soul is like, nah, the target isn't even close to what you're shooting at. See, I've seen that dichotomy with ego and soul. Because once again, ego gets thrown into this place where it's the villain. Soul and ego go hand in hand. I mean, look, mind you, first and foremost, soul, ego, different frameworks. Different frameworks. Completely different frameworks. But see, ego, like, a sense of self is necessary. It's necessary. But what you have to do is make sure it's not filthy. You've got to clean the fear. You've got to clean the fear off. You've got to clean the fear. Fear is adultery with God. Chew on that, bro. I'm so serious. Fear is adultery with God. I don't believe in God. What do you believe in, bro? Not what would you like to believe in. What do you believe in? Hands across America. That might be a lyric from a song. Oof, my disdain for the chosen idea boils my blood, but that's because I see me doing it. There you go. Trying to call yourself secretly chosen, more enlightened than the religious people. Nah. But I tell folk in the guild, bro, these religious folk are doing this work naturally. But if you're trying to master spirituality and do this intentionally, you have to know it in a whole different way. And it's not impressive to know it differently than them. They don't do this. They don't do this. See, that's why, look, I'm not interested in waking up a motherfucker that don't do this. I'm not impressed with myself for knowing this in a way that somebody who don't do this don't know. Michael Phelps, the swimming, I don't know a lot of people, so I'm sorry. I'm saying who I know in my head. Michael Phelps, Olympic swimmer. You know, hit the blunt, hit the water, right? Michael Phelps, swimming his ass off. If he's impressed with himself for swimming better than niggas who don't swim, he wouldn't be able to get there. He has to compare himself to other motherfuckers that swim. For Michael Phelps to be Olympic level, you don't get there comparing yourself to motherfuckers who don't do what you do. You have to compare yourself to motherfuckers who do. Look, he can't just go in there, want to be an Olympic swimmer, and say, well, all swimming is equal. I don't compete with anyone in my swimming. I'm just the best. You know, I'm just really good. Or everyone swimming is the same. It's cap. It's cap. We know niggas ain't the same. But motherfuckers will say that so they don't have to compete. So they don't have to risk losing. That fake humble shit. True. I could say super ego. Yeah, super ego. See, super ego comes from the model of the ego. But see, then, I think of ego like a toddler, not evil, but he really thinks he's in charge, but mama in the background really in charge. The sins, I'd say they're kids. I'd agree with you there. Not when it comes to ego, though. Not when it comes to ego. Because look, this is what I'm saying. Ego ain't in the way. Ego's not in the way. Ego's not blocking it. Them badass kids are, yeah, but I mean, they're kids. They're supposed to be bad as fuck. They're supposed to do what they want to do. How do I say this? Because super ego is like, it's once again, it's a almost like a collective conception of self. So like Jesus is a super ego. Society is a super ego. Okay, like they're a larger ideal or a constraint upon an individual or personalized conception of self. Like I don't like to put soul and ego together, and I don't like just shit on ego as if it's the villain. Where the villain is the fear. It's the fear. It's the fear, and it's not to say have no fear, because having fear is natural. It does a job, but it's your relationship to that fear that causes the problem. So most times when people are saying ego, what they mean is pride. What they mean is pride. If anything, bruh, ego is your highest servant. Ego is your highest servant. Does the job perfectly. It's going to do what you want it to do. It is not in the way. They got some badass kids, I ain't gonna lie. But they're kids, they're supposed to be bad. Super ego equals collective unconscious. I wouldn't even necessarily unconscious. It's more like a collective consciousness. It's not because we're usually conscious of a superego. We'll treat it as though it's a thing. Society wants you to hold on. Can we call society to the witness stand? No. We treat it like it's a thing. We're conscious of it. So a superego, you could say, is a collective conscious. But once again, I probably wouldn't say it because I'm not really partial to that particular framing of the world. Because collective, unconscious, and conscious, that's specifically Carl Jung. Now, it's not that I have something against Carl Jung, because I don't. I think he's a beast. He's amazing things. I don't want to. I guess I could have an episode about talking about some of Carl Jung's ideas, but I think other people could do him more justice. So that's why I don't. Would ego be in that personality and shadow area according to the shadow workbook? No. Let me show you. Because once again, in the Bookman model, I don't talk about ego. In the Bookman model, I don't talk about ego. Just to be complete, I'm not gonna find it in here. I'm gonna have it. I have to go to one of my other documents. There we go. There we go. For all intents and purposes, bro, ego is the am of I am. Ego is the am of I am. I am that I am. But quit saying shit, bro. Ego is the am of I am. How much of that can you see? Yeah, you can see the whole thing. Ego is the am of I am. Ego is the am of I am. I, singular. Am, dual. Because I've also talked to you guys about the idea of M-A-N. You have to use the actual geometric cipher for the English language. That M-A has a lot to do with it. But it ain't the end all be all. Like Animal is right in the sense that it's not what's in the lead. But you don't have to be in the lead to get shit done. Where is it? Study material. I put it in here. Because I talk about this shit here, I think. Let me see. Here it is. I talk to you about M-A-N. It's not human. It's not human. It's a metaphysical concept. M-A-N is a metaphysical concept. And you need to use the cipher for the English language because we're dealing with the English language. Look at where it's at in the cipher. All right, because look, you have two sides to this, okay? 26 letters, 13 on each side. No? Okay, whatever. 13, M. It starts at the end of the first half, moving back towards the front. So there's a relationship between the beginning and the end of the first half. A relationship between the beginning and the end of the first half. Look at the second half. N, Z. N, Z. There's a relationship between the beginning and the end of the second half. I can point to the relationship from the second half by just pointing to one of the numerals. So I just point to 14. M-A-N. It's a concept. It's human. It's human. They're talking about me. It's about me. No. Fuck. M-A-N. See that spiral? That's why I put it here next to the Yadhe Vadhe thing. All right? It's always talking about the circle. That's all there is to talk about. When they say there's only one story ever told. Ha 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 ha. You think you sound smart. What's the story? What's it talking about? So yeah, you're here to talk about ego. It's the am and I am. Let's go back to the fucking cipher. Where's I? 9. It's 3 threes. Uh-oh. 9? 3 threes? Tell you I've been talking about the fucking fundamental map for the longest. No, Aries, I get all this. No, you don't. No, you don't. 9. Look, all this comes before anything physical. Physical is going to be 10, 11, and 12. 3 threes. Whatever. Ego is the I, I mean the am and I am. It is the highest servant of your house. It does exactly what you want it to do. But it's you. I just want to choke something. I'm sorry. I'm not upset with you. So no, it's not in the shadow workbook. It's not in the shadow workbook. But to the degree to which you're going to see it anywhere on my methodological maps, here, because I do put it on the methodological map. No, the picture's too small. There we go. I do put it on the methodological map. Ego is the am in I am. Actually, there's another place I did it too. See, I got shit I ain't even released, bro. Y'all niggas is tripping. I kill this shit in ways and niggas you know would never be able to do it. Where'd I put it? Is it here? I gotta go further down the line for it. It's right. It's probably in this one. Nah, cause I ain't finna. But if you look at the old self-deification lectures, talk about it there. That's back when I thought niggas actually wanted to learn about it. They didn't. They wanted to be cool, and they weren't good at it. I'm sorry, I'm a piece of shit. Ego has been hard as fuck for me to get an idea of. That's because everybody uses the word colloquially or in common parlance as if they know what it's about. But I mean, like I don't like using the term, but it is what it is. The kids are really good sometimes. They clean and do their homework. They're not evil. Exactly. They're not evil. And ego not evil to me, but I don't know. It's hard for me to define ego or pride. Like I said, the 7 sins are the children of ego. Pride looked like his daddy. You'll confuse him if you don't know what you're looking at. Okay, similar to what we talked about Saturday when we say my soul, my body. When you start to put the possessive on it, it completely changes what the thing is. Like, look, I am is its own thing. I am Brandon, whole different thing. You've added a whole different element to it. Okay? I am, anything else you've added to that is something completely different. Am, because otherwise you're just going to have I. Am is the mechanism by which you get to the third element. It's like I talk about 2 in the Trinity. Illusion. It's the mechanism by which you have anything other than just one. But no, let's get back to pride. Okay, let's get back to the sins, okay? Let's talk about each of them. Because like I said, pride is that satisfaction with a particular identity or sense of self. The heart and mind of a child. A child isn't necessarily yet set in a particular identity. It's moldable. It's malleable. You want your sense of yourself to be moldable and malleable. It's not just open mind. Because if you don't have discernment, anyone will put anything in there. Okay? You want your sense of self to be as honest as it can be. So if it's honest and it's malleable, it will shape itself. It'll shape itself into a usable form. If it's dishonest, then you're consistently trying to change it so that it looks a certain way, so that it feels a certain way. All right? If it's not malleable and it's rigid, then it's gonna break easy. Like people who you say they have a fragile ego, a fragile sense of self. That's because it's not malleable. It needs to be honest and malleable. Okay? So again, we get into shadow work. So like shadow work is where you can talk about something like a framework of the seven sins. Okay? So, pride. This isn't just calling yourself humble either. There's a lot of fake humility going around. Greed is an insatiable desire for material gain or social value, such as status or power. It's the collection of things, the grabbing, the holding on to, the wanting of more. And once again, it's not to say it's bad. It's not to say it's evil. Right? Just like Anna said, it's not evil. Like I can have a gun on the table. It's not going to just start shooting people by itself. It's not evil. It's about your relationship to it. The thing that's going to fuck the sins up is fear. Fear fucks everything up. No, it's not true. It doesn't fuck everything up. Because like I said, it has its utility. It has its utility. But it only has jurisdiction in a single place. Unless, of course, you let it out. It only has jurisdiction in a single place. Unless, of course, you let it out. Like I said, thinking about the model this way. Each of the faces of this cube is one of those 6. And pride is the 7th in the middle. Inside this cube is where fear has jurisdiction. Inside, not on any of the sides. Those need to stay clear. Within there, fear is useful. It's telling you something. It's doing a job. You can't let it out of the cube. Hell, you can't stay in there with it. That's the bigger thing. It's supposed to be in there. It's useful. It has a job to do. But it has to stay in its lane. Let me continue. So greed. That's the hoarding is, the wanting, the not letting anything go. Wrath. Anger, also known as wrath or rage, is an intense emotional state involving a strong, uncomfortable, and non-cooperative response to a perceived provocation, hurt, or threat. When we think wrath, we're generally going to think anger. Anger is fear pushed to its extreme. I'm not telling you never be angry. No, that's dumb. That's dumb and unhealthy. All right? But you need to be able to recognize the fear and anger. Somebody walk up and slap your baby in the stroller. You're mad. Underneath that is the fear this motherfucker's going to hurt my child more. It's useful. It's useful. It's not about not having anger. It's not about avoiding things that you think are wrong. Fuck framing the world in right and wrong, good and evil, good and bad. There's more nuance. So, wrath, anger, it's fear pushed to its extreme. It's fear pushed to its extreme. It's not to say they don't have it. It's not to say it's not natural. It is what it is, but you need to be able to recognize it. You need to be able to recognize it. Envy is an emotion which occurs when a person lacks another's quality, skill, achievement, or possession, and either desires it or wishes that the other lacked it. I think there's a bit of a distinction somewhere between envy and jealousy. I consistently forget how to articulate the distinction. But I will make the claim there's a distinction between envy and jealousy. But envy, okay? You looking at what somebody else got, and you start hating on them because they got it, because really you want it, and you wish they didn't have it. All right? You try and take what other motherfuckers is having. You covet other people's shit. And you got to be honest with yourself when you feel it. You got to be. That's the whole thing with the shadow work. Is the honesty is so important because you need to be able to recognize these things. You're fearful that you lack the thing this other person has, and without it, you're not going to be what you want to be. See, look, let's go back. Remember, once again, I say pride is in the center of these. Pride is the Angelica pickles of these little motherfuckers. Okay? Greed. It's rooted in pride. Greed is rooted in pride. Why? Because what gets to have what you're being greedy about? That distorted sense of self. Wrath. What's angry? That distorted sense of self. Envy. What's envious? That distorted sense of self. Once pride is contaminated with fear, now you have access to the others. When pride is contaminated with fear, now it has access to the others. It's the center. So that's envy, okay? That motherfucker got, like, you playing the game, right? And another motherfucker in the game got a skin that you don't have, right? You're like, man, fuck that nigga, man. That nigga ain't cool. Fuck that nigga. Or really, you see me out here, right? I'm spitting this good shit. He's trying to act smart. Sound a little envious. If you were smarter than me, you wouldn't say I'm trying to act smart. Well, you on a baby slapping today. Well, first of all, I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. But, it's something anyone, like, universally considers egregious. And so, like, I have to pick something that people think is universally egregious. And so, the baby just sitting there chilling, pushing him through Kroger in a little stroller. Listen to the music and stuff. You just go, slap your baby. Right? Oh my God, what are you doing? Right? So, I think it's funny. I think it's funny. You just slap a baby. Like, who slaps a baby? Anyways, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. Yeah, I'm realizing so much of my anger and frustration coming from fear. You have to be able to recognize fear in the different ways it can contort itself and contaminate things. Because look, there's a tiger in front of you with his teeth out in a little pouncing position. It's kind of natural to have some fear. But what you do about the fear is what makes the difference. Your relationship to the fear is what makes the difference. Bitches be envious fuck online. That's 90% of the internet. And look. And the other 10% is just capping. Paying to win, head ass. Paying to win. Oh, I hate games. Look, that's gaming today, man. You can pay to win. It's craziness. Oh. Look, Dawson gonna be slapping a baby before we know it, man. He having fun now. Lust is an intense desire for something. Okay, so look, like once again, I'm talking to you about a cube. You can probably have lust and greed on two different sides. Like maybe sloth and gluttony on two sides, and maybe envy or wrath. There's room for the argument about it, but it's an intense desire for something. It looks kind of like greed. I would think in this collection of kids, there's probably a set of twins, maybe a pair of twins. Don't know. There's room for the discussion. Lust can take any form, such as the lust for sexuality, money, or power. Okay. So, like sometimes if you're lustful, you may consider yourself better than somebody who's greedy. And it's not much of a distinction between the two there. All right, it's still that deep wanting. It's like a I think the thing about lust is that it's very base. And that's usually the big thing. It's very base. Okay? It's not bad to want to have desires, to want things. All right? But I guess especially once again, if it's tainted with fear, if it's tainted with that lack mentality, excuse me, you gotta check it. Sorry. Oh, now I see when I be walking in envy, when I see someone's have the same camera as me, but doing better shit. Bro, when I first started playing guitar, I always hate when somebody can pick up my guitar and make it sing like I can't do. It'll always bother me. Like I'm just sitting there trying to. Like, oh, you play guitar? Let me see. Oh shit! Fuck this nigga. Oh, I'm a hater though. I'm a hater. Sorry, that's jealousy because you have the camera. If you didn't have the camera, that's envy. Or maybe it's the skill. You know, because once again, I know there's a distinction between jealousy and envy. I do not remember it off the top of my head. So yeah, gluttony means overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. All right, I would think gluttony and sloth probably hang out a lot, but yeah, and once again, just like the faces of a cube, each of these touch each other in different ways. They're all rooted in pride. Each of them touch each other in different ways, or not at all. See, the face of this side of the face, over here on the left, doesn't touch the face on the right. They both touch the face at the top in different ways. Okay, so each of them touch each other in different ways, or not at all. But they're all rooted in the center, in pride. Okay? Okay, we just did gluttony and sloth. It is the most difficult sin to define and credit as sin, since it refers to an assortment of ideas dating from antiquity. One definition is habitual disinclination. Habitual disinclination. Habitual disinclination. I love that. Like a dedication to your own laziness and idleness. Okay? It's basically never really wanting to have to put in effort to do anything. The laziest nigga in the world. I remember, what was that, Flapjack? On that show Flapjack, Knuckles was in the lazy competition. That shit was hilarious. Sorry, that second hand emotion. I'm so busy running from the said thing without examining it. Yeah, man, don't do that coward stuff, man. Come on, bro, get in the guild, Dawson. Quit playing with me. Stop slapping babies and get to work, bro. Hell yeah, look up the difference between the two. Look up the difference between the two. Yeah, I think envy has to do with lack than jealousy. There's no lack, but you feel some type of threat. There's a subtle distinction somewhere. I only because I'm not looking it up now. But yes, please look it up. But here, this is what I want to bring this home. Okay, this is where I want to bring this home. When we're talking about the seven sins, we're talking about the inside of the cube. When we're talking about the seven sins, we're talking about mapping out the inside of the cube. The outside of the cube is mapping the virtues. The outside of the cube is mapping the virtues. Same faces, okay? Same center. When we're talking about the sins, we're mapping to the inside of the cube. When we're talking about the virtues, we're mapping to the outside of the cube. When we're talking about the sins, we're mapping to the inside of the cube. When we're talking about the virtues, we're mapping to the outside of the cube. So in order to go from the inside to the outside, you can't have the fear. So the fear has to be in check, period. And it's not that look, you couldn't have the outside of the cube without the inside. These things are necessary. They're supposed to be there. They're not evil. Okay? What you want to be doing is mapping to the outside of the cube. Okay? Because the cube is the bottom. There's so much more beyond of what you can be, of what exists beyond the cube. Beyond, and here we go, as pride. Ego. Think of ego as the lines. All of the lines of the cube. All of the lines of the cube. Think of ego as the lines themselves. Think of ego as the lines themselves. With the sins, you are mapping to the inside of the cube. With the virtues, you are mapping to the outside of the cube, which allows for moving beyond. Same center. Same center. Same center. Here, let's do this. 7 virtues. I want to make sure we can correlate them with there we go. There we go. All right, so we can correlate them with the sins as well. Okay, I'm following. Light bulb came on finally. Ding. All right, there you go. Because look, it's not really that difficult. It really isn't. It really isn't. But people get caught up in saying the things that have been said by other people. Like you gotta check where. Like this is part of what I mean when I say challenging your understanding of what you know, what you claim to know, is something's coming out of you. Where did I get that? It's not bad, because sometimes there's plenty of things you can learn from other people. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I don't make any qualms about saying it. But it's did I take that in because I liked it? It felt good. It's convenient. It facilitates what I'd like to be the case. That's rationalizing it. You have to be able to see the ration in it. That way you have the line of reasoning. But most people, that's too much work. So they just rationalize. Anyways, let's do this. Okay? Pride. Humility is the corresponding virtue. Okay? So when the center point is not tracking to the inside of the cube, but is tracking to the outside of the cube, it is not pride, it is humility. Okay? Humility is the quality of being humble. I'm humble, right? I'll be telling you, the fake humility. I'm not better than anyone else. We're all the same. And quit teaching. We're all the same. You're not better than anybody. What difference does it make what you're saying? Matter of fact, they don't even need to hear it. Because you're all the same. No. So you teaching somebody? You're not the same. You're not the same. That lovey-dovey fucking participation trophy shit. Describes humility as low self-regard and a low sense of unworthiness. Like, it's not to say don't treat life, don't take life seriously. Life has a seriousness to it. And you really do need to be honest about what you care about. It's really easy to say, well, I don't care about anything. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't care what anybody says. People who care the most spend so much time telling you they don't care what anyone says. If you didn't care what anyone thinks about you, you wouldn't have to remind people that you don't care what they think about you. That fake humility, bro. The virtue, not only the virtue signaling, the reverse virtue signaling. So virtue signaling. Me and my friends, we don't drink tea. Tea is slave labor in the Indonesian continent, and we don't do things like that. Colombian roast. Virtue signal. Alright? I'm signaling to you how I am. Reverse virtue signal. Same example. I just don't understand how anyone drinks anything other than Colombian roast. I'd hate for my beverage to be attributed to slavery. Reverse virtue signaling. I just can't understand how any of you do this. Okay? Same bullshit, different outfit. The fake humility. It's continue or clothing yourself in the signs and symbols of humility, so that you have the appearance of it. Well, how does it look when someone's humble? Oh, I do that all the time. Look, you don't have to worry about how something looks if you do it. If I drive race cars, I don't have to worry about what it looks like to drive a race car. I do it. I'm already the thing. I'm so serious, bro. It can be simple, but motherfuckers too busy lying, bullshitting, and being scared. Anyways, humility is the virtue that corresponds with the sin of pride. Wrath, the corresponding virtue, is patience, is the ability to endure difficult or undesired long-term circumstances. Undesired long-term circumstances. You want it quick, you want it simple, plain. Get a little patience. Sometimes you see how much work you're going to have to do in front of you. You're like, man, that ain't even worth doing it. Get a little patience. Get a little patience. Come on. Someone's doing something that's undesirable to you. Patience. Especially kids, right? Students. Patience. Patience. You can wear your patience thin, I know, but you can always thicken it up. So anyways, that's the corresponding virtue for the pride. Remember, the sins track the inside of the cube. The virtues track the outside of the cube. The virtues afford you access beyond the cube. See, I have these words different. What was indulgence? Gluttony. Indulgence, gluttony, right? Sobriety. I think sometimes it's, what was temperance? Hold on, do I have a different one? Here we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Temperance. Okay, anyways, here, I'll use this one because this one has the words we were using before. Envy. The sin of envy. Kindness is the corresponding virtue. Kindness is a type of behavior marked by acts of generosity, consideration, rendering assistance, or concern for others. Some people pretend to be kind because they don't have the capacity or the courage to not be. That's not kindness, it's cowardice. See, if I'm not fucking you up because I can't, that's not kind. That's coward. But if I can fuck you up and I don't, that's kindness. That's kindness. If you're not dangerous, the fact that you're passive with someone isn't virtuous. Hell, the fact that you're not doing something you couldn't do isn't virtuous. You have to be a little bit of a monster for your kindness to mean anything. Otherwise, it's more than likely cowardice. And where we at again with that? Fear. Once again, fear has its utility, but you can't let that shit drive the car. You can't let it run the house. It's gonna muddy up the sides or the faces of the cube, and you're not moving through that. In fact, it's gonna focus that attention even deeper on the inside of the cube. Because look, ego is just delineating the lines. Ego isn't making the distinction as to whether or not you're inside or outside the cube. Ego isn't making the distinction whether or not you're inside or outside the cube. It's facilitating the possibility of in and out. It's the am of I am. It's the am of I am. It's your highest servant. What's facilitating whether or not you in and out is your allegiance to fear. When you're looking to figure out what the fuck you actually believe in, start with what you fear. Don't nobody fear some shit they're not scared of. Don't nobody fear some shit they don't believe in. Clutching the pearls. Just realize, used to feign having patience with in order to not look like a dick. Right? Like I can't help but look like a dick. Yeah, man. You got to be honest with yourself about it. Trying to look a certain way, like you can catch yourself. You can catch yourself doing it. Motherfuckers like, check your ego at the door. Let's stop. You ain't even a you without it. Ain't even a you without it. And you can't just rise above having a you. Well, there is no self. Who said that? Fuck out of here. God. Sloth. Okay? The sin of sloth. The corresponding virtue, diligence. Get up off your ass. Quit procrastinating. Get the word. Fuck you talking about. Careful and persistent effort or work. See, a lot of people will say discipline. It sounds good. It's not to say discipline is wrong. You need direction for discipline. Okay? You got direction, some discipline, be diligent. Look at all that. D, right? We standing on D. I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit, man. Oh, shit. Damn, yeah, I'm more concerned about how it looks with his head on the floor. Looks like worship. At the same time, talking about I'm not the body or personality I had as. Look, you got to check for the contradictions. You got to check for the place where you're bullshitting yourself. See, that's why that shadow work is so important. Because routinely, we're used to bullshitting ourselves. We're used to kind of changing how you look at it so it doesn't hurt as much. So it lands more appropriately. It's lying. It's fancy lying. I mean, to be completely honest, you can't lie to yourself, but you can bullshit yourself. And that's what you have to be able to recognize, where you're bullshitting yourself. So does fear become the gatekeeper so you don't go too far? I wouldn't say it becomes so much the gatekeeper as it gets to take the center. It's allowed to take the center. So because look, if fear takes the center, there's no reason to leave the cube. That's where it has jurisdiction. And so when pride is tainted, because every other one of these sides or every other face of the cube is rooted in the center, you get the center, you can take everything else, and there's never a reason to leave the cube. There's never a reason to leave the cube. If I know you're never going to leave my jurisdiction, I can pretend like that my jurisdiction is all encompassing. When it gets into the law shit, bro, I love it. If I can control the diameter of your thinking, what is the diameter, guys? If I can control the diameter of your thinking, here we go. The diameter of your thinking. All right, because I'm using shapes because we understand things spatially very, very readily. the diameter of your thinking. That means your thoughts are always going to be inside here. And I can control the circumference of your actions and the sphere of your conceptions. The diameter of your thinking, the circumference of your actions. If you're going to stay within this diameter, I can pretend none of this stuff out here exists. Yeah, you're always free to go out there, but if you're never going to, I get to rule. You're stuck in here by your own choice. That's the biggest thing about this. Well, it's one of the biggest things about the shadow work. You got to see how you're in your own way, how you're bullshitting yourself, how you're choosing this. That's not just in some inspirational way. You're literally making the choice. I don't have any choice. You're wrong. You don't have a choice that you like. That's different. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. That's like a thing about the physical world. You always have a choice. You may not like your choices, but you always have a choice. That choice may be terrifying. It's still your choice. Always have a choice. So if I can control because that's what fear is going to do. It's going to control the diameter of your thinking, the circumference of your action, and the sphere of your conception. It's going to control the diameter of your thinking, the circumference of your action, and the sphere of your conception. That's what fear is. When fear gets to take the circle in the center, it gets to control the diameter of your thinking, the circumference of your action, and the whole sphere of your conception. What image do I show you guys all the time? A sphere and a cube nest together perfectly at a ratio of 9:8 with 7 focal points along the axis. Whatever, right? Whatever, Aries. Shut up, you're trying to be smart. No, maybe you're dumb. Uh-oh. Look, that's something you can cure. You can fit that sphere inside the cube, or it can extend beyond it. Hell, it can encompass the entire cube. Let's continue. We standing on D. You have to say pause. Nah, man, my dick's so big, I just stand on it. Like, what's going on, bro? What's up? Nah, that ain't the sidewalk player. Yeah, watch your girl. Amen. That's what I do. Oh, shit. The emperor wears no clothes, head ass. Ooh. I will say this, though. The naked man fears no pickpocket. I mean, if the emperor think he got clothes on, but don't, then he got a problem. But hey, man, the naked man fears no pickpocket. Unless, of course, he think he got clothes on and think he got a pocket full of some good shit. Then he worried about a pickpocket. Them layers of bullshit, bro. The animal sloths is a good representation of sloth. I think so. It's probably why it's called a sloth. I don't really know the history of that. You have to look into that. Avarice, greed. We talked about greed as a sin. The corresponding virtue, charity. Right? It's really simple, right? The friendship of man for God, which unites us to God, he holds it as the most excellent of the virtues. That's Thomas Aquinas. Okay? Charity is the corresponding virtue for greed. Okay? And look, just because you're charitable don't mean you're never greedy. Just because you're greedy don't mean you're never charitable. It's not about being either or, good and bad, right and wrong. It's about understanding the dynamic between them and being honest with yourself about where you stand and why. Where you stand and why. Where you stand and why. Fear is adultery with God. You really believe what you say you believe, you wouldn't be fair. You wouldn't have that allegiance to fear. If you really believe what you say you believe, you wouldn't have that allegiance to fear. A lot of people have no spiritual access to their life. And so fear is their God. People who have no spiritual access to their life, fear is their God. Whatever, bro, right? Gluttony, that's sin. Temperance is the corresponding virtue. Temperance in its modern use is defined as moderation or voluntary self-restraint. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not even great with this one. I'm not great with temperance. Hey. Look, I got a leak in the cube over there. Look. I'm sorry, it's a little broken. This includes restraint from revenge by practicing mercy and forgiveness. Revenge is mine, says the Lord. No, you don't believe that. You got the fear that you'll never get compensation for what's happened. Revenge. No, it's alright. Revenge is fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. Just because it's fun don't mean you need to be doing it. Alright, and the sin lust, the corresponding virtue is chastity. Yeah. Put that thing away. Keep it to yourself. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Also known as purity, is a virtue related to temperance. See, like I told you, these things they're related in certain sense. Lust and gluttony. Yeah, that's what I talked about before. Anyways, it's just like with the cube. The faces touch each other. They relate to each other in different ways, even though all of them are rooted in pride. Okay? All of them are rooted in the center. That's what I'm saying. With the humility, you're not taking yourself very seriously. Okay? You are the joke. This doesn't mean, haha, look, I'm being absurd. I'm the cosmic clown. I'm the fool. Haha, I'm here to wake you up. Chill out, bro. That shit weak as hell. That shit weak. Like, you actually have to get the cosmic joke. You have to get that you're the butt of the cosmic joke. It's not an insult. See, it only feels like an insult when someone's trying to attack you. The pride is contaminated with fear. So what if a nigga just made a joke about me that was accurate? Hey, nigga, you got a big ass nose. No, I don't. Not me. You got a big one. Yeah, I do. Hey, bro. Shit, man. It's honesty. Look. Get roasted. Get roasted. It happens. The sins track to the inside of the cube. The virtues track the outside of the cube. The sins track to the inside of the cube. The virtues track to the outside of the cube. It's very simple. It's not a difficult concept. It's not a difficult concept. If you're trying to correspond it to things in the physical body, probably, because that's not what the fuck this is for. So yeah, bro, this is seriously an issue of shadow work. And I guess, real quick before I get out of here, I'll talk to you about what shadow work is. Once again, you click the link in the bio. You can go straight to the details, and you can get all this free and download it. Shadow work is the honesty, is the dedication to the honesty, devoting yourself to the honesty. It's like wiping your ass. Here, I put that. No, I put that in the shadow work thing. Shadow work is like wiping your ass. You never stop doing it. At first, you're not doing it at all. Other people are compensating for you because you can't do it. Then you start to do it. You're taught about it, and you have to get good at it. Nobody pops off the diaper first time. Whoop! Wipe that thing perfect. You got to get good at it. And then once you're good at it, you have to do it every day for the rest of your life until you can't do it no more. And that's not a bug in the system, it's a feature. And no matter how good you wiped it yesterday, that don't roll over to the next day. You wiped it, you did the triple quadruple wipe, and then hit it with the wet wipe yesterday, right? Man, I wiped that thing good, boy. I was smooth. Think that means you don't have to do it again today? You're going to do it again today, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And the degree to which you're dedicated to that is the degree to which the faces of that cube going to stay clean. Or as clean as you can keep them, really. Maybe you got a little hair in your crack and you got to wipe it a little harder now. Hey, get in there. Get in there, get in there. Ain't that how it goes? Oh, shit. Get in there, get in there. You always have to do it. And you have to be dedicated to doing it. Because if you can't be honest about what you're aware of, ain't no way you having some awareness of cosmic reality is going to work out. Because the way your awareness is set up, you kind of bend it so that it looks the way you want to. And then you bullshit yourself about doing it. You're never going to see beyond that. You want your vision clear. You want your awareness clear. The process of ascension is an expanding of your awareness. It's an expanding of your awareness. The world's not changing, it's perfect. You notice more of it in ways you haven't noticed it before. But none of that works if you're not doing the shadow work. If you're not keeping your lenses clear, ain't no way you're going to be able to see through them or examine the lenses themselves. Because you got to examine the lenses. Otherwise, you confuse the map with the territory. You got to examine the lenses and you got to be able to see through them. And you can't do that if they're covered in shit. Especially if you don't realize when it's your shit. It ain't the world is so shitty. This thing's need to change. That's your doo-doo. That's yours. Yeah, okay, there's some doo-doo out there. You're right. You're not wrong about that, but that's yours. That's your dookie. And you put it there. Like, it's got to be simple. It's got to be simple, bro. I'm so serious. It's not difficult to understand. It's difficult to do, but you got to get good at it. And everything is difficult to do when you first start. You got to get good at it. You can remember back, go ask your parents what it was like teaching you to wipe your ass. You wasn't good at it. You wasn't good at it. Oh, shit. Even when they gave you the reins, boy, I still had them streaks in the drawers. You wasn't good at it. Fuck. Another analogy I like to use is hoarders. Okay? Because everybody look at the hoarder and think, I'll never do that. My house will never get that dirty. Boy, you're a lie. You may not hoard egg cartons and newspapers, but you hoard something. You hoard something. There's something that you are irrationally connected to that gets in your way. And you make sure you condition your view of the world so that you don't have to notice it. Look, you walk into that hoarder house, they're like, what the fuck is that smell? What you mean? I don't smell nothing. Dude, where's your bed at? I don't really need a bed. I'm kind of above that. I just lay on these blankets right here. There's rat shit on the blankets. I mean, I just brush it off. I mean, you know, it's not really that bad. That's you. That's you. Constricting and twisting your view of the world and yourself so that it's comfortable, convenient. Or lying to yourself about the fact that it's comfortable because you don't feel like doing the work to actually make it comfortable. You know, in all honesty, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to get that hoard out the house. But once you do, you can actually do something about the carpet, the framing of the house. Those be beautiful houses. But you can't do nothing with it with that hoard in there. You got to get the hoard out. You have to dedicate yourself to that work. And sometimes you can't do it on your own. And once you get the hoard out, you can actually deal with the underlying framing of the home. And then even once you get the hoard out, even once you deal with the framing, you have to dedicate yourself to not developing another hoard. This ain't shit you just do on the weekend. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Look, yeah, there you go, Dawson. Hoarding emotions. Hoarding emotions about things somebody said to you years ago. You don't even remember the person's face. You don't even remember what they said. But you remember how you felt. And you know you don't ever want to feel like that again. And you just hoard that emotion. And there was this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Ain't that how it start with the hoard? The hoard, I just got one, just another one, just another one, another one. Before you know, filled up. Ain't even no room in the room for you. Ain't even no room in the room for you. Bruh, it could all be so simple. That's crazy work, shitting on yourself and blaming somebody else, but we do it all the time. Hell yeah, bruh. It's real shit. And that's what happened with the fake humility stuff. Niggas had their nose in the air. This world is awful. Oh, what a terrible place to be. I'm here to change it. I'm here to make the world different. Nah, player, that's your diaper. That's your diaper over there full of shit. Ready to look down at a Christian with your nose up. You religious people. You don't know the truth. I'm here to enlighten you, wake you up. With your own diaper full of shit. Full of shit. Oh, gotta watch that shit. No streaks. No streaks, bro. You gotta, that's what I'm saying. Lifestyle. Cause look, you take a day and slack on the white. Go ahead, take a day and slack on the white, Mr. Itchy. It's gonna affect everything else you do for the rest of the day. And you think don't nobody notice. I may not smell it right away. I see you walking funny. What kind of... It's itchy, ain't it? Get in there and wipe that shit. Well, I'm a bad person if I call you a nasty motherfucker. Go wipe your ass. For real. See, like, it's simple. We understand it in those terms. It's simple. Sorry, DJ. My lady's mother does it, and I get upset every time they realize I still do the same thing, so I'm not better for real. Which part of this, look, the fact that you do it is probably why you get mad too. See, the things we mad about other people, we can still relate to it. There's still a part of you in there that does it. I'm telling you, the things you're running from, the things that are running from you, there's still a part of you in there that does it. And it hides from you because it knows if you were to see it, you'd be upset, terrified, ready to tear everything up. I'm so serious, bro. So I asked you this before, but for cleaning within shadow work, You can also eat it too, like you often mention that you do yourself. You can eat it to clean it. Yeah. But it's not like you don't want to go into shadow work trying to get rid of stuff. It's not going to work. Like with the hoarders. Like, bro, if folk go in there to clean and just start throwing shit, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Like, I think about it like this way. Like, let's say you have the whole childhood thing about parents didn't want to understand you. They just told you what to do, didn't really listen. Right? What'll happen is motherfuckers will get into shadow work and try to do that shit to themselves. They go in there ready to just toss shit out. Don't want to understand it. Don't want to listen. Just want it to do what you want to do. And it's not going to work. It didn't work on you. It ain't going to work on you again. There's a deep need to understand. Because look, that shit is there because you put it there. You created it. Like Lemon Grab off of Adventure Time. Princess Bubblegum's a bitch. Like, you created me. I love Lemon Grab. I'm a total Lemon Grab. I love Lemon Grab. Dungeon! I fucking love Lemon Grab. But yeah, man, you gotta, you can do to eat it. Look, that's only we're gonna work if what is you is pretty solid. So I wouldn't even suggest going there and trying to eat nothing. Go in there and understand it. Listen to it. Comprehend exactly why it's there. That way you can check where you're still holding on to it. That's the serious shit. It's the honesty. Be willing to see all of it. Listen to what that motherfucker got to say. Listen to what that motherfucker got to say. Because you know you hate it when motherfuckers didn't do it to you. And I can't guarantee you anyone will ever listen to you. But if you don't listen to you, no wonder nobody listen to you. You don't even listen to you. I'm so serious, bro. We going in, man. Look, this just casual shit. Get in the guild. It's all right. It's all right. I know them lemon pepper wings and that 3-5. It's okay. You go. I know you want that more. Go get that. You can just watch the free videos. Look, I got plenty of them. Ask a question, all for free. There you go. There you go. Get in the guild, bro. Quit playing. Look, link in the description. Takes you straight to the details. This has been me for the day, guys. It was fun. It was fun. If you're in the guild, we got office hours later. Other than that, guys,